Welcome to Founders Feature, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Zach Young, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Anika Mischke, a money mindset coach dedicated to helping entrepreneurs and professionals shift their relationship with money so they can earn with confidence, expand financially, and build sustainable wealth from the inside out. Anika guides clients to uncover and rewire the limiting beliefs, emotional blocks, and mental barriers that keep them stuck in cycles of scarcity, self-doubt, or hesitation, helping them step into clarity, purpose, and aligned financial action. Her work blends psychology, practical strategy, and identity-level transformation so her clients can earn more, think bigger, and create lasting abundance without fear or compromise. Anika, a very warm welcome to Founders Feature.
Thank you so much, Zach. I'm really excited to be on the podcast today.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great episode. We got a lot to dive into. Before we do, I do like to start with your background, though. So before money mindset coaching, can you tell us what were you doing previously and what was really your inspiration for getting into this space?
Yeah, for sure. So previously, after college, I was working at a law firm, and I thought for a while that my career track would be becoming an attorney. But as I was stepping into that role of a paralegal, I decided that was not my passion in the end, and I didn't want to go that route. And so then in my late 20s, through personal circumstances, I found myself recently single at the time, moving to a new city, and had a bunch of debt at the time. So the journey of money mindset very early on started, but also finding what is truly my passion. So I found a job quickly, worked as the executive assistant of a CEO, who then eventually helped me move into human resources. And I really found that the employee relations piece of that, the coaching, guiding, supporting, helping people navigate challenging situations was my strength, and I really enjoyed that. And so with the debt that I had hanging around my neck at the time, I was on the outside, everything was looking great. I had a job, I moved into a cute apartment, everything looked like it was on track. But on the inside, money felt heavy, stressful, emotional. I would wake up at 2 a.m. in a panic, would count days until my next paycheck hit. And so the seed was planted, and I had to make a decision to change my life. And once I did that, the path slowly started to unfold. I started to pay off some of the debt. I started to come up with the strategy and whatnot. And out of that journey, that desire to be a support system, a guide, a sounding board, and also somebody that would celebrate with women on that journey is what started the thought of what money mindset would become about 10 years later.
I love it. I always say, you're always your best first client.
Yes.
And it sounds like that's exactly the same situation for you. So quite the journey that's led you to today. I want to ask, when did you officially become a coach? When did you start coaching people when it comes to money mindsets?
So officially launched this business summer of 2024.
Summer 2024. Okay, we're about a year and a half in. I'm sure the business has gone through a few maybe transitions throughout that time, but let's focus on the present day today. Walk us through, what does working with yourself look like today? Who are you typically working with? Everything like that.
So my coaching program at this point, yes, and has gone through a couple of changes already in that short period of time. It is highly personal. It is a highly emotional topic to begin with. So I have at this point a 12-week one-on-one coaching program where we combine the strategy, but also the mindset. And mindset, first and foremost, to build out what are my clients struggling with the most? What are they looking for? What have they tried and maybe didn't work? And why did that happen? And how can we overcome that and create a strategy that's sustainable and continues to carry them throughout their life. And it's not just in the container of those 12 weeks, because this is an ongoing task. I can say that my strategy, my budget looks nothing like it did when I first started. Now, being married and having two little kids, priorities are very different. So the system needs to be flexible and encourage women to continue to build on it. And so I mostly work with women, all income groups, because we continue to see the struggle, the fear of taking action. Because for some reason, especially with money, we tend to do nothing out of fear of doing something wrong. So instill, like providing that, building that confidence, providing the tools so women know I am good with this, I can make decisions, I can feel more empowered versus just having this paralyzing fear of doing anything.
And the accountability piece helps out a lot with that, right? Because
100%.
it's needed. So you're working very one-on-one with these women. That makes sense. And like you said, you're really helping them with their mindset. So I have to assume that's essentially you coaching them through the process, right? You're doing a lot of educating on your end. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, got it. One-to-one sessions for 12 weeks. Was that right?
Yes.
Got it. Is that one session a week?
It starts out weekly for the first 2 months, and then it transitions into a bi-weekly schedule as we look into more of the long-term planning. But the foundation, the mindset, and setting up the strategy is one-on-one, very personalized.
Got it. Okay. And like you said, it's very personal. This is money is unfortunate, but it is what we think about a lot throughout the day. It does run our lives. Life is only getting more expensive. So that makes a lot of sense. I am curious, and I know the business is on the newer end. Do you think a group coaching offer could work for this, or is it too personal for a group?
I think it can work, and ultimately, I want to get to that point, hopefully in the next year or so. The challenge that I'm working through in building a group coaching is I don't want to lose the ability to tailor the program to each of the women. However, while each journey is really like unique, the issues, the mindset blocks, the fears are often very similar. So I think
Mhm.
there's definitely an opportunity to mix the two, to still be available one-on-one, but also offer a group coaching, because I do believe having that community as a client with like-minded women, with women that are going through the same journey, they have
Mm.
had the same struggles, for them to collaborate. And it would allow me to focus more time on content creation and, quite frankly, serve more women at the same time. Because right now, there's definitely a ceiling of how many clients I can take on at once.
Yeah, you just said something that's so prevalent for so many business owners. And so many people start out with a direct one-to-one, and it makes sense as to why, right? Hey, personable, I really got to be able to personalize this to everybody. But like you just said, you're figuring this out as well. We only got so much time in the day. You have a family and kids. You really only have so much time in the day. If the goal is to build a scalable business that's sustainable, we got to be able to grow in a healthier way, and group coaching is that way. And it, you know what, it's a positive for both, I believe. It's a positive for the business owner, but like you said, there's so many positives for the client as well, right? They're not alone in their situation. They can learn from other people at the same time, and then they're gonna make friends in that group. So I
Absolutely.
I think it's just a win for everybody. So you're on the right track there, absolutely. Looking to the back end of the business for a second, how are most of these women currently finding you to work with you marketing wise?
It's currently predominantly through social media. I hang out mostly on Instagram at the moment, and referrals.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Instagram makes a lot of sense. A lot of people have found Instagram to be the place where most women are hanging out. So that makes sense. I'm curious, can you walk us through your content strategy? There's so many different things to be doing now, carousels, shorts, you can name it these days. So what do you prefer to do when it comes to your social media content?
My preference is the reels, and only because they're easier to create and faster to create. The carousels definitely have a place in it though, because you can add a lot more value, a lot more information into a carousel, but then they all also take a lot longer to create. So depending on what my day looks like, some weeks are a lot heavier on reels, and then other weeks I can really focus on sharing valuable information.
Got it. Okay. And when it comes to the social media content, like you mentioned, are you doing any long form content? Like you said, I know you like the reels, but are you doing any long form and do you find success with that?
I have not done any long form
Hmm.
content. So social media for me, being a relatively newer account also is a big learning curve for myself. So that would be as I scale and grow, I think would be one of the first additions to my team is somebody that's very familiar with social media and Instagram to take that over. But so I learn, I follow some good accounts to help me become a better content creator so that I can serve my clients better and communicating better.
It's a process, just like everything in the entrepreneurial journey, it's a process.
Yes.
That is for sure. Walk us through the process of, let's say someone follows you on Instagram, they message you, you could call them cold. Walk us through the process of them becoming a client.
Certainly. If somebody reaches out, there's generally a couple of DMs back and forth, just getting some initial information on what are their biggest pain points, what are they looking for, and what have they tried? Just get some initial relationship building and a conversation going. I then have either a video, if they just are not too familiar with my brand quite yet, I have a brief 5-minute video that kind of outlines the 12-week program. And then after that, if they're like, yes, I would like to learn more, I invite them to onto a strategy call. And the strategy calls are really maybe a little bit more unique because the goal is for them to really understand where they are and what they're looking for. Because oftentimes we don't necessarily know or think or even believe that it's possible. So we walk through that. It's about a 45-minute call. And I ask a lot of questions. We uncover some of the blocks, what's working, what's not working. And after that, and only if we both feel like it's a good fit, do I invite them into the coaching program.
Mhm.
Never want women to feel pressured into something, especially because it's money related. There is so much fear and distrust already existing. So I never want women to feel pressured about doing something they don't want to. I certainly help guide them towards that, but if I know
Mhm.
they're not a great fit, I will say that. And then based on that, it's we go into the program.
Yeah, you bring up a good point there. And I think it is a fine line because sometimes people just have fear. And I'm not saying fear of, is this a scam or this just really isn't right for me? More so fear of, I'm afraid of making change. I'm afraid of taking a bet on myself. Right. So when it's that type of fear, it's our job to help them get over that fear. Right. We're going to have to take a chance on ourselves at some point in our lives or nothing's going to change. Right.
Absolutely.
Versus, hey, clearly this is not a fit. We need to draw the line. If you're pushing people in who are not a good fit, you're just going to get refunds and negative reviews. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said people are reaching out to you. Are you doing any cold outreach? Will you reach out to followers, anything like that?
I do. Yes, I do. Excuse me. Both.
Okay. Got it. So doing some cold and warm. A lot of people come on the show, organic and warm. It's really great, right? People love it. They've consumed your content. They know who you are. Typically, it's a much smoother process of turning an organic that's been warmed up into a client. I have a decent amount of people who say, though, that they find it to be a little inconsistent. Sometimes they just don't really know where the next lead is coming from. I'm curious on your take on that.
I would definitely agree with that.
Hmm.
That is something that I am working on and working through what would be a repeatable, more solid strategy for me to follow. The content, what content is working, what's not working, where do people engage the most? Where do they not? So that's definitely been a journey to understand because yeah, lead generation is certainly the number one thing that I'm focused on and working on at the moment.
I think a lot of people are, right? Because so many people that we're so good at what we have, right? Money mindset. Someone's a great fitness coach, a divorce coach, whatever it is. You could be the best, but if you can't market yourself, no one's going to know. I think it just goes back to everything else, right? It's part of the journey, but
For
you will
sure.
figure it out. You will figure it out.
Yep.
2026 is slowly, but also very quickly, in my opinion, approaching. Are there any goals you've set for yourself in the business for next year you're looking to achieve?
Yeah, so the group coaching program
Mm.
is something I would like to focus on the next year and then scaling in terms of revenue. So in the next 2 years, accomplishing a six-figure brand would be definitely a goal that I have.
Great goal to have. We're not building businesses to make 10 grand. We're building
Exactly.
businesses to make money, do well for our family. So
Yeah,
I love it.
absolutely.
I love it. Where can the listeners find you? Where can they connect with you online?
I hang out mostly on Instagram and it's Anika Mischke _ money mindset. I also have a newsletter that I've launched, the Money Mindset Insight. The link is also on the Instagram account. I think at this point that is the best starting point, excuse me, to connect and just reach out with questions, ideas, concerns, frustrations, because it's definitely a goal of mine to normalize the conversation about money and get away
Mm,
from the oh my gosh, we can't talk about this. It's not okay to talk about it, especially not as a woman. I'm
mm.
working very hard to break through that.
Yeah, it's needed and we appreciate it. Absolutely. Anika, pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. It was great.
Absolutely. And that will wrap up another inspiring episode of the Founders Feature. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go and connect with Anika on all of her social media. Subscribe to that newsletter as well. All those links will be in the show notes and description down below. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're looking to scale your business, and you really want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we went from 0 to 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.